Let's jump into the Roto World player news, and we do have some news off the top of this show here, guys. As the Bears fired offensive coordinator Shane Waldron, Thomas Brown will be the interim offensive coordinator, Waldre.
Shane Waldron.
So Thomas Brown was their offensive passing coordinator and was the Panthers' offensive coordinator last season, which is probably not something he wants on his resume anymore, but it feels like anything would be an upgrade over Waldron.
It just look, you never want to root. You never want to root for someone to be fired, and you never want to celebrate somebody losing their job. Like, in all seriousness, right? You know, I've never met Shane Waldron, but you know, I assume he's got a family. He's nice. Like, you know, this is tough. It's tough on the family and the kids, everything. Like, having said that, Connor, you're right. It just didn't seem to work out. And when you have a first-round prized quarterback like Caleb Williams, like, there's nothing more important than that hire. I'm not trying to make this all Commanders, as I always try to do, but like, honestly, no, seriously, think about how important Cliff Kingsbury has been to the development of Jaden Daniels. Think about Sean Payton and Bo Nix, honestly. Bo Nix has been a lot better than anyone expected him to be.
Been better than Caleb Williams.
Right, exactly. And so it didn't seem like it was working out here, you know, for Shane Waldron and the Bears, and they couldn't seem to get on the same page. Since their Week 7 bye, the Bears are last in offensive points per game, passing yards per game, yards per play. Like, it just, pick a category. They were bad in it offensively. Caleb Williams seems to have regressed, Connor, from his college tape as well.
He's a mess. I mean, it's everything. Mechanically, he's not seeing the field. He's not accurate. And it just feels like a guy that is now scared to make a mistake, and he's not pushing the ball like we saw in that stretch, as you see here. Just fascinating numbers, Jay. Week 4 to 6, we started to talk about Caleb Williams making a push for Offensive Rookie of the Year because of the offensive output. I mean, their offensive points per game during that stretch was over 31, and now it's regressed back down to a single-digit number at 9.
Yeah, I mean, it feels so long ago that they were in London, absolutely cooking the Jags, and Caleb Williams looked like a Patrick Mahomes clone. I think the thing is like, you have the number 1 pick in the draft, you have DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen. Like, you can't have the worst offense in the league, and that's what it's looking like. That performance against the Patriots was the most pitiful performance I think that any team's had this year. So I think change clearly needed to be made. They've got the O-line has some issues, but it's not. I don't think the O-line is weak enough to be able to justify this. It just seems like there's no plan.
It doesn't, and you have to wonder, you know, is this sort of? I feel like this is a little bit like, you know, Matt Eberflus trying to sort of save his job too. Like, feels like they're going to have to do a complete reset in Chicago in the offseason. You know, I don't know.
Ready to close the book on Flus, I think. I think it's time.
I mean, you have an asset here in Caleb Williams that you can't take a risk like this anymore. It was kind of surprising he had the chance to continue on, because it was a real reset when they drafted Caleb number 1 overall.
Yeah. Like, so many coaches that get fired, the argument is like, hey, well, I didn't have a quarterback. Give me a quarterback. You know, I remember one time talking to Herm Edwards when we were working at ESPN. He talked about this. He goes, the quarterback's everything. He goes, listen, I was in Kansas City. I had Tyler Thigpen. I was winning games with Tyler Thigpen. You know, and Herm in his Herm way doing it. It's like it makes a difference. It makes a difference. It's one of the reasons why I'm so anti-Mike McCarthy, because he had peak Aaron Rodgers and he's had Dak Prescott.
You and Micah Parsons taking a stand?
Honestly, yes. Like, I don't agree with how Micah handled that situation.
Terrible.
But I have long said that I believe as a head coach, Mike McCarthy has done less with more talent than any head coach of his stature. Right. Would be my argument. But anyway, to make this about Eberflus, right? He had Justin Fields. Like, I mean, it's like not like Justin Fields, who was handled like like Justin Fields went top 12 overall. He was a star at Ohio State, and they couldn't make Justin Fields work. And by the way, Mike Tomlin did, and Arthur Smith did.
He's an average quarterback. He's fine.
He's certainly better in Pittsburgh than he was in Chicago. And the Steelers were winning. Now they've won a couple with Russell Wilson, but at the time they made the change, a lot of people were like, "Whoa, you're winning with Justin. Why are you?"
It was a surprise.
It was a surprise. And so my point is that Eberflus has now had 2 top 12 drafted quarterbacks, and you don't often get those kind of shots in the NFL. Shane Waldron takes the fall here, but just feels like it's just kind of like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic sort of thing until the offseason.
Agreed.
Fantasy takeaway, I don't know that there's any here. Like, I don't think there's anything. I think what we said yesterday remains the same. I'll just say this, which is that DeAndre Swift you can start, and the rest of it, until you see some sort of production on the field, I just don't know that you can trust any of those guys, and that includes DJ Moore.
Yeah, agreed. At least now there's a bit more variance, a bit more upside. Like if you have DJ Moore on your team, I think you're happy now, just because there's going to be something new and different. So just anything that's different from the current status quo is beneficial.
And maybe Rome Odunze gets going. I mean, we would see like sort of rookie wide receivers in the second half of the year, and we know Odunze's a talented player.
And you want to see what you have in him. Maybe you start to kind of change around the reps a little bit. It's not like Keenan Allen's going to be there forever, so maybe that is something that will help.
The trade did not work out for Keenan Allen.
No, it didn't. And I believe it was for a fourth. But by the way, while it didn't work out, still more productive than Jonathan Mingo.
That's right.
Jonathan Mingo. I saw some, I think it might have been NFL IG memes or whatever. Like that account just never misses. I think it was them. I don't know who had this, but it was just very funny where they're like, DeAndre Hopkins, touchdown in his first game, right? Amari Cooper, touchdown in his first game. Mike Williams, touchdown in his first game. Jonathan Mingo, inactive in his first game.
Bizarre trade. Bizarre trade.
It's very strange.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.